My name is Mark, and I never thought I'd find myself in this situation. I live in Boston, Massachusetts. I work as a software engineer, and I've been married to my wife, Jessica, for 5 years. Jessica is an art teacher at a local high school, and we've always had what I thought was a solid, loving marriage. But things started to change about 6 months ago, and I didn't see it coming. It all began innocently enough. Jessica started coming home later than usual, claiming she had to stay late for school projects or meetings with parents. At first, I believed her. Why wouldn't I? She'd never given me a reason to doubt her before, but as the late nights became more frequent, I couldn't help but feel a gnawing sense of unease. One Friday evening, Jessica came home around 10 p.m. She looked exhausted, and her usually cheerful demeanor was replaced with a distant, almost guilty expression. I asked her how her day was, and she mumbled something about a tough day at school and went straight to bed. I followed her shortly after, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. The next morning, I decided to take a closer look at her behavior. Over breakfast, I casually asked about her late night, hoping to gauge her reaction. She seemed flustered, stumbling over her words as she explained that a student had needed extra help with a project. I wanted to believe her, but the doubt was already planted in my mind. Days turned into weeks, and the late nights continued. Jessica's explanations became more elaborate, but my suspicion only grew stronger. I confided in my best friend Tom, who suggested I keep an eye on her without jumping to conclusions. It was good advice, but easier said than done. One evening, after another late night, I decided to check her phone while she was in the shower. I felt a pang of guilt as I unlocked it, but I needed to know the truth. What I found shattered me. There were messages from someone named Chris, a fellow teacher at her school. The messages were flirtatious and hinted at secret meetings. My heart sank. I confronted Jessica that night. At first, she denied everything, but when I showed her the messages, she broke down in tears and admitted to the affair. She told me it had started innocently, with them bonding over shared frustrations about work. But it had quickly escalated into something more. She swore it was over, that she still loved me and wanted to make things right. I was devastated, but I couldn't just throw away our marriage without trying to understand why it happened. We agreed to see a marriage counselor, hoping to salvage what we had. The sessions were painful, forcing us to confront issues we'd been avoiding for years. I realized that I had become complacent, taking Jessica for granted and not paying attention to her needs. She felt neglected and found solace in someone who made her feel appreciated. As we worked through our problems, I began to see a glimmer of hope. Jessica was genuinely remorseful, and I could see the effort she was putting into rebuilding our relationship. But the trust was broken, and that was the hardest part to repair. Months passed, and things slowly started to improve. We spent more quality time together, and I made a conscious effort to show her how much I cared. We took weekend trips, had regular date nights, and even started a new hobby together, cooking. It felt like we were falling in love all over again. Dear viewers, more than 90% watch my content without subscribing. If you still have not subscribed, then I ask you to do so. For me, this is the best motivation to continue. But despite our progress, there were moments when the betrayal would resurface in my mind, causing a wave of anger and sadness. Jessica was patient, understanding that it would take time for me to fully heal. I appreciated her willingness to do whatever it took to regain my trust, but the road ahead was still long and uncertain. One day, while cleaning out the garage, I found an old box of our wedding photos. As I looked through them, memories of happier times flooded back. I realized how much I loved Jessica and how much I wanted to make things work. I made a promise to myself to let go of the past and focus on building a better future together. As the months turned into a year, our relationship grew stronger. We learned to communicate better, to listen and understand each other's needs. The affair was a painful chapter in our lives, but it also served as a wake-up call, reminding us not to take each other for granted. Today, Jessica and I are closer than ever. The trust is slowly being rebuilt, and our love for each other has deepened. We've learned that marriage is not just about the good times, but also about facing challenges together and coming out stronger on the other side. Looking back, I can't say I'm grateful for what happened, but I can say that it taught us both valuable lessons. It made us realize the importance of communication, appreciation, and effort in a relationship. It showed us that love is not just a feeling, but a choice we make every day. As I sit here writing this story, Jessica is in the kitchen, preparing dinner. I can hear her humming a tune, and it brings a smile to my face. We've come a long way, and while there are still scars, they are a testament to our resilience and commitment to each other. Life is unpredictable, and relationships are never perfect. But if there's one thing I've learned, it's that love can endure even the toughest of trials if both people are willing to fight for it. And that's exactly what Jessica and I are doing, fighting for our love, one day at a time. That evening, as we sat down for dinner, I felt a sense of peace that had eluded me for months. Jessica and I talked about our day, shared stories, and laughed. It felt normal, and that normalcy was something I had missed dearly. We were rediscovering each other, and it was a journey I was willing to take, no matter how difficult. One weekend, we decided to take a trip to Cape Cod. It was a place we had visited early in our relationship, full of memories of carefree days spent on the beach and exploring the charming towns. As we walked hand in hand along the shore, I could feel the weight of the past lifting. We were creating new memories, stronger than the shadows of the betrayal. At night, we sat by the fire, wrapped in a blanket, watching the stars. Jessica leaned her head on my shoulder and whispered, "Thank you for giving us a second chance." Her words were sincere, and I knew she meant every syllable. I held her close, not needing to say anything in return. My actions and commitment spoke louder than words ever could. Our counselor had suggested we write letters to each other, expressing our feelings and hopes for the future. It was an exercise that felt awkward at first, but it became a powerful tool for healing. In my letter, I poured out my heart, sharing my pain, my fears, and my unwavering love for her. Jessica's letter to me was filled with remorse, gratitude, and a promise to never let us drift apart again. We read each other's letters by the fire, tears streaming down our faces. It was a cathartic moment, one that marked a new beginning for us. The wounds were still there, but they were no longer raw. We were healing together, and that made all the difference. Returning to Boston, we resumed our daily routines, but there was a noticeable shift in our dynamics. We were more attentive, more affectionate, and more open with each other. The transparency we had developed was a cornerstone of our renewed relationship. Jessica's phone was no longer off limits, and I didn't feel the need to check it. Trust was being rebuilt one small step at a time. We joined a couples group at our church, seeking support and advice from others who had faced similar challenges. Hearing their stories and sharing ours was a reminder that we were not alone. Every couple had their struggles, but it was the willingness to work through them that set the survivors apart. As time went on, the memories of the affair faded into the background, replaced by new experiences and stronger bonds. We celebrated our 6th anniversary with a quiet dinner at home, reminiscing about our journey and looking forward to the future. Jessica surprised me with a small gift, a framed photo of us from our trip to Cape Cod, with the words, "New Beginnings" inscribed at the bottom. It was a symbol of our resilience and the love that had withstood the storm. One evening, while watching a movie, Jessica turned to me and said, "I've been thinking about something." Her tone was serious, and I gave her my full attention. "I want to have a baby," she said softly, her eyes searching mine for a reaction. It was something we had talked about before the affair, but the betrayal had put those plans on hold. Her words filled me with a mix of emotions. Fear, joy, and hope all swirled within me. I took her hand and smiled. "Let's do it." It was a decision that felt right, a step towards the future we both wanted. The following months were filled with anticipation and excitement. We visited doctors, read books, and made plans. The prospect of bringing a new life into the world brought us even closer, giving us a common goal to strive for. Our friends and family noticed the change in us, commenting on how happy we seemed. Jessica's pregnancy was a time of joy and challenges. We attended every appointment together, marveled at the ultrasound images, and prepared the nursery. There were moments of anxiety, but we faced them together, drawing strength from each other. The bond we had rebuilt was now stronger than ever. The day our daughter Emma was born was the happiest day of my life. Holding her in my arms, I felt an overwhelming sense of love and purpose. Jessica and I looked at each other, tears of joy streaming down our faces. This tiny, perfect being was a testament to our journey, a symbol of our love and resilience. Parenthood brought its own set of challenges, but we faced them as a team. Sleepless nights, diaper changes, and the constant demands of a newborn tested our patience, but we never lost sight of what mattered. Our love for each other and for Emma kept us grounded, reminding us of the strength we had found within ourselves. As I sit here, reflecting on the past few years, I'm grateful for the lessons learned and the growth we've experienced. Our marriage is not perfect, but it is stronger and more resilient than ever. We've learned that love is not just about the good times, but also about weathering the storms together. Life in Boston continues, with its bustling streets and ever-changing seasons. Jessica and I have found a rhythm that works for us, balancing our careers, parenthood, and our relationship. Emma is a constant source of joy, her laughter filling our home with happiness. Looking back, I can't say I'm grateful for the pain and betrayal, but I am grateful for the strength it uncovered within us. It showed us that love is a choice, a commitment that requires effort and dedication. And as we move forward, I know that we will continue to choose each other every day. Our journey is far from over, but I am confident that we will face whatever comes our way with love and resilience. Jessica and I have built a foundation that can withstand the toughest of challenges, and for that, I am eternally grateful. Our life settled into a comfortable routine as we embraced the challenges and joys of parenthood. Emma grew quickly, and every new milestone she reached was a celebration for us. Her first smile, her first word, her first step. Each moment was a reminder of how far we had come and how much we had to look forward to. Jessica took a brief maternity leave after Emma was born, and during that time, we grew even closer. We were both exhausted, often up in the middle of the night for feedings and diaper changes, but we were also a team, supporting each other through the sleepless nights and the endless cycle of baby care. When Jessica returned to work, we had to adjust to a new rhythm. I took on more responsibilities at home, ensuring that Emma was well cared for while Jessica was at school. It wasn't easy, balancing work and home life, but we managed. Our communication improved, and we became adept at coordinating our schedules and sharing the load. As Emma approached her first birthday, we decided to host a small celebration at our home. Our friends and family gathered to celebrate with us, and it was a joyful occasion. Watching Emma smash her first cake and laugh with delight filled our hearts with happiness. It was a moment of pure joy, and I felt a deep sense of gratitude for the life we had built together. One evening, after Emma had gone to bed, Jessica and I sat on the couch, reflecting on the past year. "Can you believe how much has changed?" Jessica asked, her head resting on my shoulder. "It's been a roller coaster," I admitted, "but I wouldn't trade it for anything." Jessica smiled, her eyes filled with love. "Neither would I. We've been through so much, but it's made us stronger." I kissed her forehead, feeling a wave of emotion. "I love you, Jess. Thank you for sticking with me." She looked up at me, her eyes shining. "I love you too, Mark. Thank you for giving us a second chance." As time went on, our lives continued to evolve. Emma started daycare, which allowed Jessica and me to focus more on our careers. I received a promotion at work, and Jessica was recognized for her dedication as a teacher. Our professional lives were thriving, but we never lost sight of our commitment to each other and our family. We made it a priority to have regular date nights, even if it was just a quiet dinner at home after Emma had gone to bed. We took weekend trips to explore new places and create new memories. Our relationship was stronger than ever, and we were more in sync than we had been in years. One summer, we decided to take a family vacation to the West Coast. We rented a beach house in Santa Monica, California, and spent 2 weeks enjoying the sun, sand, and sea. It was a magical time, and watching Emma play on the beach and experience the ocean for the first time was a highlight of our trip. During one of our evenings on the beach, as the sun set over the Pacific, Jessica and I sat on a blanket, holding hands. "This has been amazing," she said, her voice filled with contentment. "It really has," I agreed, squeezing her hand. "I'm so glad we did this." Jessica turned to me, her expression serious. "Mark, there's something I need to tell you." My heart skipped a beat. "What is it?" She took a deep breath. "I've been thinking a lot about our future, about what we want for our family." I nodded, waiting for her to continue. "I want to have another baby," she said, her eyes searching mine for a reaction. Her words filled me with a mix of emotions, excitement, fear, and anticipation. "Are you sure?" I asked, my voice gentle. Jessica nodded. "Yes, I am. I know it won't be easy, but I want to expand our family. I want Emma to have a sibling." I smiled, feeling a surge of love for my wife. "I want that too." We spent the rest of our vacation dreaming about the future, discussing our hopes and plans for our growing family. It was an exciting time, and when we returned to Boston, we began preparing for the next chapter of our lives. A few months later, Jessica was pregnant with our second child. The news brought us immense joy, and we eagerly anticipated the arrival of our new addition. Emma was too young to fully understand, but she sensed the excitement and often patted Jessica's growing belly, saying, "Baby." Jessica's second pregnancy was more challenging than the first. She experienced more fatigue and discomfort, and we had to juggle our responsibilities with caring for Emma. But we faced it together, supporting each other through the difficult moments and celebrating the small victories. As the due date approached, we prepared our home for the new baby. We converted the guest room into a nursery and made sure Emma was ready to be a big sister. It was a busy time, but it was also filled with anticipation and love. The day finally arrived, and Jessica went into labor. We rushed to the hospital, and after several hours of intense labor, our son, Noah, was born. Holding him for the first time was a surreal experience, and I was filled with an overwhelming sense of love and gratitude. Bringing Noah home was an adjustment, but we quickly found our rhythm. Emma was fascinated by her baby brother, and we made sure to include her in caring for him. Our family felt complete, and the love that filled our home was palpable. The first few months with Noah were challenging, as we navigated the demands of a newborn, while also ensuring that Emma felt loved and included. There were sleepless nights and moments of exhaustion, but we faced them together, knowing that we were building a life filled with love and joy. As Noah grew, we settled into a new routine. Watching Emma and Noah interact, seeing the bond between them develop, filled our hearts with happiness. Our family was our greatest joy, and Jessica and I continued to nurture our relationship, knowing that our love was the foundation of everything we had built. Life continued to bring its challenges, but we faced them with resilience and love. We supported each other through career changes, personal struggles, and the everyday demands of parenting. Our journey had not been easy, but it had been worth it. Looking back, I am grateful for the lessons we learned and the strength we found within ourselves and each other. Our marriage had been tested, but it had emerged stronger and more resilient. We had built a life filled with love, trust, and joy, and for that, I am eternally grateful. As I sit here, reflecting on our journey, I am filled with a deep sense of peace and contentment. Our family is our greatest achievement, and the love we share is our greatest treasure. Jessica and I have built a life that we are proud of, and we know that whatever challenges come our way, we will face them together, with love and resilience. Our journey is far from over, but I am confident that we will continue to grow, to love, and to build a life filled with joy and happiness. Jessica and I have faced the toughest of challenges and have emerged stronger, more in love, and more committed to each other than ever before. And as we move forward, I know that we will continue to choose each other every day for the rest of our lives.